It's a goal!
Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. I'm Joe, and this time I thought we could do something a bit different. I'm a bit bored right now, and I'm just basically just going for my kind of like my what I call my man cave, which is filled with vintage toys, games and comic books and sports cards and non-sports cards. And I'm just thinking, I got so many cards. It's a nightmare to try and work out what I want to send off to get graded and what I want to maybe sell or what I might want to like trade, sort of thing. So what I thought I could do is I can go through these two big boxes I have here, which I'll try and get the camera up a bit more. A box here of bigger cards, and this is my vintage pre-1990 box of cards. Yeah, loads of cards in there. I do actually have more vintage. It's all scattered everywhere. Some of it's graded, some of it's in like piles ready to be graded in lots. And I just thought, well, let's have a look at what we got, and that's okay for it. Why don't I show you guys what I've got on the camera, basically. So this is all random stuff I've collected over the years. So first thing we got is something which is not vintage at all. It's one of these really large Messi and Ansu Fati cards. These are nice, cool cards, but they're massive. They're about the same size as postcards. But yeah, that's enough for that's all the modern I think that's in here. It's really random, this box. Is it Grace, WG Grace, or his name is. It says here this is a famous people card of WG Grace. Yeah, so he lived in Bristol, where I'm from. I don't know if he's born in Bristol, but yeah, this is just one of those cards that were given out in, I think it's, I'll tell you on the back of here, it's Brooks Bond T in the 1970s. I think there's a Stanley Matthews in this line as well. Not worth much at all, but just interesting to see. Then we have a Chicks card from I think it's 58, which shows Stanley Matthews. These cards are a bit bigger than the standard card. They do fit in SGC holders, I believe, from a company. I think they're called. I can't remember what this line is actually called, but yeah, caricature on the back is really cool. Shows Stanley Matthews on the Blackpool Pier. He would obviously go and rehearse exercise on the Blackpool beach. Another one from the set, this one is Bobby Charlton. It's also considered a rookie. There's arguments whether this is 58 or 59. I would say it's probably 59 or something. It says here on the back, automatic choice for England anywhere in the forward line, and a pop song enthusiast. He won £1,000 on ITV for his hobby. If anybody knows anything about that, I would love to know if he did win £1,000 and what channel, what show that was on. That is awesome. Yeah, if you see on the right here and here, and on the corners, it's basically it's like you've been stuck into an album. Ones where the corners hold the book, and yeah, that makes it condition eventually, unfortunately, is rather poor, but still not the hardest thing to come across, not the easiest thing to come across. I think I paid like £15 for this. Then we have an empty World Cup 1982 special, 8 self-adhesive pictures. This is from FKS, who, in my opinion, were at the start of the 70s and end of the 60s a very good sticker manufacturer. They made some really cool, iconic pictures. England teams, World Cups from 1970. But unfortunately, live in this, but the picture quality was terrible. I mean, the actual photography was terrible. The player's choice, it was awful. I think they just lost all self-control, is that the right word, on this product. It just became pretty poor, unfortunately. I think this might have been the last FKS stuff they actually did. But yeah, very cool to own an envelope, well, the packaging. And then we have a Gianni Rivera for Italy card. These are quite big cards. They're packed by Jack Draw. They're quite large, so they when I purchased these, I purchased this one here, and I purchased this cool Stanley Matthews one as well, and I was surprised how big they were. I thought they were normal card size. I was quite shocked. Good write up on the back. I think they're from the 59, 1960 sort of period. That doesn't say, does it, on the back? I don't think so. He also played in 1962, 66 and 70 World Cup finals. So actually this is from the 70s. I thought they were much earlier than that. There you go, they're really cool. Something you don't see. we have a random sealed Pokemon sticker pack. This really brings me back to my childhood. I used to love collecting the Pokemon cards by Wizard of the Coast, and unfortunately sometimes they were too expensive because they were like £2.50 a pack, and I would only get about £3 pocket money a week if I was really lucky and saved up everything. Which meant I could buy one pack, and then I could buy one pack of stickers because these are so cool. These are cheap Merlin stickers. I love Merlin. Whatever Merlin do, I love. I would love to get that graded. I wonder if MGC will grade one of those. Imagine SGC or at least PSA will grade it. Another awesome item. This is a England versus Cameroon ticket stub. I've never come across one which is complete, just when it's been torn. This is not too bad quality. It's weirdly looks like it's stained, but it's not. This is Ian Wright's first international game for England. Yeah, not the hardest thing to come by. You can probably pick these up for about £10. I think I paid £7 for mine. And then we have a 1958 Brazil team featuring a very young Pele. This came out with I think it's a certain, like, I can't remember what it's called, like a comic book in UK. A set of 12. I think this is from 1962-63. So it's not an actual like rookie era card, but it's cool to have him in the, you know, in the 1958. There's Grinch on the end there. I think that was cheap. I think that was like £10. Then we have this cool, awesome, I believe it's Puskas card. Yeah, it says Puskas here. I think he's the one heading the ball. Makes sense, it is number 10. I think he's playing Germany there, I think. But yeah, another lovely item. It's unfortunately creased at the bottom and on the back. But, you know, really cool. Actually, guys, you can tell I just collect random stuff. I bought this on eBay. Not really sure why. I was trying to find Ian Wright's last game for Crystal Palace before he played for Arsenal, and I came across this. I think it's the last time Ian Wright played Arsenal as a Palace player, because I believe in September 25th or something he was on 91. He was like, so literally 2 weeks time he would actually be playing for Arsenal. Very cool ticket stub. A random picture of the Beatles. I find this at a car boot sale. There's another one in there you'll see in a minute. That's them in probably 63, early 63. They're kind of like high necks. Yeah, this would definitely be 63, I think. Then we have a cool ticket stub for Bobby Moore's memorial match. West Ham versus, I don't know who the team was, Premiership 11. Very cool. You don't really get these sort of games anymore, which is sad. I think they should do some more testimonials and stuff like that, because that's so much fun. Yeah, March 7th, 1994. Unfortunately, Bobby Moore passed away with cancer, so I believe they were raising money for the Bobby Moore charity. Then we have another picture of the Beatles in police helmets. This is, I think, back in the day when the Beatles were playing gigs, they would leave the venue and they'd be swamped by fans, like absolutely swamped. So sometimes they'd have to go in the back of riot vans, police riot vans, stop them from getting injured. And they would wear these helmets for a bit of a publicity sort of picture, for a laugh. I think the policeman liked it. Yeah, I don't know what these are worth, guys, if they're worth anything at all. I think these are just cheap souvenirs given out to Beatles fans back in the 60s. I've seen these pictures before, so I don't think these are unique. These not, if they were unique, they would be worth thousands, but I don't think they are. I think they're probably only worth about £20 per pair. Another really cool thing, this is a, I think it's 1958-59, so it's, I think it came out in 59, maybe in 1960, but it is a Manchester United card. It's like a postcard, but without any strange. But yeah, I don't know what this came with, guys. If anybody knows who issued this, I'd be really grateful. It has some legends on there, but most importantly, it has a Bobby Charlton with his arms folded there, the ball at his feet. Very cool. Nice to have some early Charlton stuff. You don't see much. This is the 28th, Saturday the 28th game. Arsenal versus, I think it was Southampton, isn't it? Yeah, it makes sense. So Ian Wright's first ever game for Arsenal. He plays on the Saturday. I don't know if he scored or not. I think he did. This is not a league game, this is like a cup game, I believe. This is Barclays League Division 1 versus Arsenal. Not 100% sure what it is. I can't remember which way around it was, but he literally signed for Arsenal on the Friday, played on the Saturday, and then I think again he played again on the Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was crazy. He just, it's how he just, nowadays it would be months before they play because they got to do training and stuff like that. But very cool. This is Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Anfield Stadium. Kind of forgot then, but this is actually the first and only time I've ever seen Arsenal play. I do support Arsenal, if you didn't know that already. Ian Wright played, which is really cool. They lost 2-0 to Liverpool, but I was in the Kop stand, as you can tell. A bit of a weird story. My dad got free tickets. I think it was due to his work. I think they were giving them out for free, and he said, "Do you want to go and see it?" Yeah, can't wait to go and see it. I got my dress up in my Arsenal kit, got all the way there, and then realised I was sitting in the Liverpool stand. But the Liverpool fans were absolutely lovely. I remember there was a young guy there with his young kids, and he must have been about 30, and he was making sure I was all right, and he was like chatting with his kids as well, who were obviously all Liverpool, all Scousers. But it was fun. It was an experience. My dad hates football, so anybody who questioned him, he just said, "I don't care about football, I don't care." But I loved it. I've never seen Arsenal since. I think because I live in Bristol and Arsenal's stadium in London, obviously, it's a bit of a trek to get to North London. It's a bit just annoying, really. And also, I've got no mates who support Arsenal, so I've got nobody to go with. So if I can play with my girlfriend, I will. I went and saw Arsenal women not long ago, which is great. That was in Reading because it was easy to get to, and it was also really cheap. This is a Aston Villa card. I think it's from either 1908 or 1910. I like early Villa stuff for some reason. I don't know why I'm attracted to it, but I also like the fact that this chap here, his name is Billy Garrity. He is, unfortunately, he's a bit worn on his picture on his face. That's Jack Grealish's great grandfather. So yeah, Jack followed in his great grandfather's footsteps and became a Villa player. It's a postcard. It's just something of its time, really, and there is a stamp in there as well. I've never seen that before. I haven't really looked at it. So look, looks like it's from South Africa. If anybody knows anything about stamps, and if that's a really rare one, it's worth thousands of pounds, and I'm going to retire, please tell me. I would like to know. If you didn't know already, I collect and sell vintage toys. Whilst I was born in the 80s, my actual favourite sort of toys are actually stuff in the 60s and 70s. I love all the toy soldiers, and I really love Action Man, the original one, the 60s one and the 70s one, not the stuff from the 90s, but the original one. It was based on actual military, and yeah, when I saw these stickers, I collect everything Action Man. I just had to have them. These stickers are actually quite hard to come by. People do randomly put them up on eBay, and every now and then they'll put up 30 or 40 stickers at like a couple of £1 each, and they all get bought up, and then they eventually just go. Not too hard to come by, but they're not as easy to find as other products. A random Futera Arsenal card set. David Seaman, Ian right on the front. I'm going to keep it, aren't I? I found this in a box. It was empty, unfortunately. But it's something of the time. I love artwork, and I love wrappers, and I love how things are sold. So that to me is awesome. And then we have this is the Zenith Data Systems Cup final. Now I'm not really, my knowledge is not really, I don't really know much about this. I believe it's just like a normal. Is it the League Cup? It's not the league, if you know what I mean. I don't know much about it, but I know that Ian Wright basically played on this game and he loved it. So one of his favourite games in his career, and this has been April '91 to Crystal Palace. I think they played Everton and Palace actually won, and I think it was, for them it was quite a big thing. So when I heard about it, I went off, thought maybe I can get myself a ticket for it, and there I did. Bought this the other day. I originally bought a packet of sealed Merlin stickers on eBay, and I wanted to keep them sealed and not open them up. And when they came in the post, unfortunately the top bit had basically fallen apart and the stickers were coming out. But Merlin 95 is, to me, is the best set I think they've ever done. I love all the Merlin stickers, especially from 95 onwards. And so I kind of wanted something to represent 95. And that's what I purchased, guys. And then we have a Bristol City football ticket versus Millwall. This is the first Bristol City game I ever went to back in 1997 on Boxing Day, by the looks of it. I probably went with my granddad and probably my uncle, or one of my uncles. And yeah, I cannot remember the game. I think Bristol City won, but I can't believe my first game was a Millwall game. Yeah, that would have been fun. And then randomly, guys, at the end we got a ticket for BDI on their first tour in Newport. BDI were the band that was left over after Noel Gallagher left Oasis. Basically, they were really good and the venue was packed, but they played no Oasis songs because they were too new at the time and they didn't want to live off the success of Oasis. But that was a fun gig. They've obviously disbanded and gone on to other things. I think Liam Gallagher's now got his own solo career, which is going well, I think. So that was a big box, guys, of oversized kind of like items and tickets and stuff. I got this one here. Then this here was released by a company called, I think it's called Toy Cult, and I love these boxes. Unfortunately, they've sold out on eBay and they sold out on their website. And I tried contacting them. I can't get any word on them because I was actually really loving them. They're perfect size for PSA cards, MGC cards, raw, top loaded, and semi-rigid. I put most of my stuff in semi-rigid so that I can just get it straight to basically grading. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit SGC, which is annoying because I love SGC. But anyway, these are really nice. I've got like 7 of them, and unfortunately, they're out of stock, and I don't think they're ever going to come back in stock. If anybody has any of these for sale, I'll pay you the same price they were on eBay or on Amazon. So please contact me. If not, I'm going to probably come up with another solution. But yeah, guys, this is my random vintage lot. I basically have so much vintage. I kind of decided to print up a label, vintage pre-1990. That was my cutoff, and it basically for everything in here. Then there might be some stuff from after 1990 in here, and there might be stuff from like 89 that's in other boxes because I kind of my weird cutoff basically. But I thought I can just randomly grab some cards so we can go through and see what we've got. What a great way to start. So first off, the first card we got is a Stanley Matthews. I think that's this Blackpool kit. Blackpool, England, known everywhere as Mr. Football. Stanley Matthews, Sir Stanley Matthews, the first Ballon d'Or winner. This guy needs more credit, guys, in the hobby. Don't sleep on it, because as soon as people start realising he's a legend, people are going to be spending a lot of money. This is the Cadet Suites. There's a few versions of these. Some they're upside down on the back. They're larger, smaller print. And this is where a Bobby Charlton rookie card comes from. And then this is the guy, is it the Welsh guy? What's his name? John Huey, some of the Welsh, Scottish. Sorry, that's sacrilege. Charlton and Scotland. Yeah, I think he's a bit of a legend. He's a bit one of those people that are a bit under the radar right now in terms of collectors. Then we have a Danny Blanchflower. Tommy Younger, played for Liverpool and Scotland. Is that Johnny Haynes there? No, it's T Banks. I think it's Tommy Banks. And then we have, I think this is from the Kane's issue products, Danny Blanchflower again, played for Tottenham. This there's a really good Puskas from this set, which I've got somewhere. It might be in there. Man City's Colin Bell. This is one of those ABC cards. It's kind of like one of those rigid cards, and they are a nightmare to get in nice condition because if they're not off center, the edges are just destroyed. David Pettini. These were given out with some kind of football bubblegum card, dandy, back in the 80s. There is a Maradona one, which is quite nice. You have another Colin Bell. This is A, B, and C. It's 68, 69, I believe. Colin Bell to me is a bit of somebody who's a bit underrated as well. Somebody who I don't see many people collect. But in terms of Man City, he's a bit of a legend, really. And then we have a chap called John Greig, plays for Rangers. Look at that moustache, guys. Bloody hell. Looks like evil Spock, doesn't he, in Star Trek? But ABC, kind of like collector's game, they made one in 1968, I think it was, for Topps made it for, or maybe 66, maybe it was 68, for baseball. And it's an incredible set. It has so many legends: Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, and Karen, I think, is in it as well. Roberto Clemente's in it. Some amazing baseball players from the 60s and 50s and 70s. Yeah, they did the same in the UK with or ABC did, and I think Topps did as well, with this kind of like game basically. I've seen a few people grade this recently. It's a bit of quite a popular card. This is a D.G. Bradman card, probably the best cricketer of all time. I mean, his cards are starting to go up and up in price. And I think people, if you're interested in cricket, I'm not a massive fan. I basically walked into a car boot sale, and the first thing I saw was, because I wanted to see if I could find cards. The first thing I saw was a guy who had a massive pack of these cricket players, and I didn't know nothing about them, but I knew Bradman was in the lot. I saw it and I said to him, how much do you want for the lot? And he said £2. I thought you meant £2 each, but he's like, no, £2 for the whole lot. So I took advantage of that. I'm going to pop that one on the side. I'm going to pop that in my little grading pile. I might send him up for grading. Alec Jackson, I know nothing about this player. Huddersfield Town. There's a boys magazine. By the looks of it, I would say this is 1920s, maybe late 20s. It must have been amazing back in the day having, you know, you didn't have internet, you didn't really have TV. So when you heard about a player, you mainly heard about them on the radio and their stats in like the paper. So to get a card that show their picture, it must have been so cool back in the day to finally see who your favourite player was, what he looked like. Unfortunately, I know nothing about that chap. Then we have this one from I think it's from the Cadet Suites as well. It's A. Harrington, played for Cardiff and Wales. This one was Lord Hawke. I randomly found his card on eBay. I don't collect much Ogden stuff. I really want to. I want to get into the early stuff really badly, but it's going up in price quite dramatically. And so I was looking for people that might be somebody who might become a bit more valuable in the future. And I thought, well, get in there now. This guy is a cricket player, and it's a blank back Ogden's. Amazing history about this guy. Read up about it. It's really cool. He's obviously a lord, so there's a bit of history there. These are from the 1990 football sticker. They randomly put in a load of World Cup sort of legends. I think it's because of the World Cup year. So yeah, it's released by Panini Football 90. This is the league, English League series. There's Muller. Is it Jairzinho? I can never how to pronounce his name. Then we have a random Jackie Charlton for Nesbitt's Food Products, I think. There's a nice George Best from this series. I always find they look a bit rubbish on the back. They look like they're always like, because of these lines here, in my head it makes it look like it's always creased, but it's not. Then we have a Jackie Moody, who played for Blackpool and Scotland. So he probably played with Stanley Matthews. It's pretty cool. Mel Hopkins for Spurs and Wales. That guy looks a bit like, I was like, what's the basic in it? Danny Blanchflower. And then we have another, what's his name again? John Huey. We have these World Cup 1970 cards. These are really cool. They have like random players on them, but I think the best players on the back. And that's how to do the scissor kick, and it teaches you what to do. And demonstrating that scissor kick is Dennis Law, which I think is really cool. There's a really cool Pele one in that series. I love these cards. I think they're so beautiful the way they look. This is Ron Flowers. I believe Ron was part of the England 66 team, I think. These came out about 64, 65, just before the World Cup. And there is that one from the series. There's Terry Venables. Sadly, they're off-centre, some of these. There were a guy for Chelsea. That's what's his face, Peter Bonetti. Yeah, amazing goalkeeper. Something modern actually. Here goes. Something's crept in. That's modern. It's a Pele Match Attacks card. I generally don't collect much Match Attacks. I've got loads, but I don't really kind of actively go for it. But this was part of a set, and I thought, I looked online, and people are paying like £5 or £6 for this card, which is mad, considering it's only come out 10 years ago. I think that's Brown Cloth. It is indeed, and that's part of the Cadet Suites, the same one with the, I get confused if it's the Bobby Charlton, and also I think it might be the same one where Jimmy Greaves' rookie card comes from. And then we have some random football stuff tickets. This is England versus Yugoslavia. There's a few of these in this little folder. I've got England versus Mexico, England versus Brazil, and England versus Yugoslavia. I think that one there might be Martin Peters' first game for England. The reason why I bought these up was because they were relatively cheap, and I kept thinking, well, England versus Brazil, most chances are that Pele probably played. And then I looked at the price of like the final ticket for the World Cup '66, and they go for lots of money now. They used to be much cheaper. But I picked up randomly because I kept thinking eventually I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to get a certain somebody's starting game. This is a cool Puskas card. I've got a few Puskas cards. Didn't realise it. Unfortunately, it's absolutely destroyed on the back. I think it's just like £3 or £4. FKS sticker of Bobby Moore. Like always, guys, I send things to get graded, and then the following week I get a better version of the card I've sent off. And this is one of them. This is a sticker he's supposed to apply, but it hasn't been applied. It's really nice. I would send it to get graded, but unfortunately, I've already got one graded, so I'm a bit like reluctant to send up. Here is the Bobby Charlton. I think it's the rookie card. I get really confused with the backs. But that I'll send up to get graded. Here's a player I absolutely love, and I would love to get more of his cards. There's not many out there actually, maybe 10 or so, and they're always in poor condition. This is Duncan Edwards, who unfortunately died a couple of weeks after the Munich air disaster when the Manchester United plane crashed. I think it was after a game in bad weather, and a lot of the crew, the reporters, the coaching staff, and some of the players unfortunately passed away. If you don't know the story, there's a few good documentaries out there. But yeah, very cool card. I think it's from 58 or something. I would like to get it upgraded, but the quality is too poor. I'm going to try and see if I can find another one. And then we've got Tom Finney. This is from the Kane products, Tom Finney. I love that. It's just a nice all around picture, isn't it? It's really good quality as well. Then we have, I think it's Billy Wright. I was right. Playing for Wolves in England. Actually, I might put that Tom Finney one up here to get graded. That might go in my graded pile. I don't recognise who this chap is. Bobby Mitchell, played for Newcastle and Scotland. Quite a lot of international players, which is quite cool. This guy's called like Charles something. Derek Keevan, played for West Brom in England. What happens is, guys, I buy up certain sets to get certain cards. So a card could be like £35 on eBay, but if you bought the full set, it's like £38. So for an extra £3 or £4, you get the whole lot. And there's some amazing players you get kind of for free. So we've seen a lot of these cards already. These are doubles. Yeah, we've seen him already. This guy is called Wilbur Cush. Plays for Ireland, and he played for Leeds. Alan Finney played for Sheffield Wednesday. Should be coming towards the last of these ones, guys. This is Slater, played for England and Wolves. Let me get a big load of these out. Jackie Kelsey played for Wales. We've seen that one before. Then we have a Mel Charles, played for Arsenal and Wales. Then we have I believe that is a Johnny Haynes, Fulham and England. Fantastic player. We've seen that before. Then we have a really cool Jimmy Greaves in the West Ham kit. So that would have been late 71. Do you have another Tom Finney? This is from the Cadet Suites one. Another ticket stub, Czechoslovakia versus England in '66. That would be just after the World Cup. We have a Ivor Oldchurch, played for Swansea and Wales. Another chap there, his name is Leslie Smith. See, all these cards, guys, are just mounted because Bill Cunningham. I bought drop lots. Nobby Stiles, I love Nobby Stiles. There is his Man United kit. This is AB and BC. I think it's from 1970, I want to say. So 3 or 4 years after the World Cup, when Nobby Stiles ran around Wembley with his teeth missing. It's quite funny, isn't it? His glasses on, he's blind. That there is Cliff Jones. I can imagine he's from Wales. He is indeed, played for the Spurs. Right, we should get some more interesting stuff now. Here's a random sticker. George Graham for Arsenal, and behind him is Alex Ferguson. Then we have a Jimmy Greaves card. I think this is Chicks as well. I think this is 58 or 50, I think this is 58, 59. Here is the rookie, I believe, of Jackie Charlton, Bobby's brother, or John Charlton as he was called now. I always refer to him as Jackie Charlton, basically Jackie. But whenever I see anything to do with him, they all call him Jack. Am I right in thinking he was also called Jackie? A random, is it Sandor Koskis? I can't even pronounce that name. Hungarian player. He's on the ball. He's Alan Ball. And here is, I want to say, I can't remember what kit that is. Everton, isn't it? It's Everton. This is one of those, I think it's Taifu T or something, or Brooks T cutout cards. This is Rodney Marsh. Random Maldini. So this is actually a bit, not all vintage. There's some kind of pre-modern, what I call like the retro period, really. I love Euro 96. That's when I really remember you. It's the first time I remember actually like watching football properly. This is a Nat Lofthouse, another legend. Get some focus in. Play for Bolton in England. Random Billy Bremner. This is from the Sun cards. A random Arsenal team. Another one of those cards from the game. This is the Colin Todd. He looks a lot like Colin Bell, in my opinion. This is really cool. This is a invitation ticket to a gala hosted by Bobby Charlton in aid of handicapped children, which I think is quite nice. And what's cool about it is it's signed on the back, to Andrew, best wishes, Bobby Charlton. Love that, love that. I wish I can get that graded somehow. I might talk to MGC and see if they will do something with me when they eventually do their tickets. Another card which is in beautiful condition is this awesome Ron Flowers card. He sadly passed away a few years ago, I believe. But yeah, I just love the artwork on this. And then we have is it Nat Lofthouse? Yeah, it's from the Mitcham Foods. I never really see much of these cards, so that's really cool. Cool. Jeff Hurst from the 1990 set again. Pat Jennings from the 1990 set. Then we have a Bobby Robson card from the 58-59. I think it's that era. Cadet Sweets. These cards have got really dusty. Don't know why. But yeah, this set contains so many legends, guys. It's unbelievable. A nice card, Nobby Stiles, but unfortunately it's creased through the corner. A Bobby Charlton card this time. This is from the, is it called Nabisco food stuff? How did people? How did you get hold of these? Were you put in packets of like tea, or are they given out at supermarkets? What's the story behind those, if anybody knows? And lastly, we have there's like a goalkeeper called Colin McDonald who played for England as well as Burnley. Should get on some more stuff now. My favourite set so far in terms of collecting is one I'm currently working on. It's 55 cards, I think, and this is number 2. That's Jeff Hurst. It's the A, B and C. I think it's 67, 68 set. They're very cool, very colourful, green and purples and oranges and stuff like that, yellows, I think, reds. So I'm trying to get all of these. I'm very close to getting it. I basically need about 15 cards to go. George Armstrong for Arsenal. I'm starting to pick up some more Arsenal legends, trying to get them into my collection. Of course, Bobby Moore's got a feature here. Just one of those weird cutout ones. Unfortunately, it's off centre, and it is a bit of damage. Look at that, the scratches on the back. This would get like a 1 if it was sent to any grading company. Ronnie Rees, this is number 37 from that same set I was talking about. This is the, I think it's the rookie card, or maybe the inverted one when he's upside down. This bit here is the actual real rookie. But this is like a 58, 59 Jimmy Greaves. Everyone I've had so far has had this little mark up here, which makes me think it was present on the roller that made the card, because every card I've got is ever so slightly different size. Can you see it's like a weird purple mark? I don't know if any company will mark down that, but yeah, lovely card. Try picking it up, guys. It's cheap for a rookie of a really good player. I did a trade recently. I forgot the person chap's name. I picked up this awesome Carlos Alberto. Unfortunately, the quality of the cut sticker is really bad, but it's World Cup 74 and I've got nothing from this period, so to me that's pretty awesome. And it's also a Brazilian player, which is, you know, they're always, I don't want to say overhyped, but everybody loves them. Awesome Ian St. John card. I might send these up to get graded eventually. A really cool card with, I think it's Francis Lee and Martin Peters and is it Peter Osgood? These are really cool. They're very kind of like American baseball cards, where you have like 3 players on them. But love that. Here we've got some when they were younger cards. Here's Harry Redknapp. He looks a bit more like Jalen Redknapp there, I think. I don't really think they look alike until I saw this card. Nice condition actually, this card. Just a bit of a bump down the edge on there. And then Frank Lampard Sr., who just looks like Frank as well with a beard. It's really weird. Nice quality card. The black borders on these cards chip like mad. A young George Graham for Arsenal. He obviously became Arsenal's manager in the late 80s, early 90s. Some random Arsenal card. A lovely card I actually would love to get graded as well. Yes, it's Ray Wilson's card. Awesome. I'll put that in the grading pile. Another Stanley Matthews in his Blackpool kits. This is from Radio Fun. I think this is from the late 50s. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to put that one there. A Victor, I think this is a comic book, a bit like a war/sporting boys type annual comic book thing. Colin Bell from 72. There's George Eastham for Arsenal. Another Stanley Matthews, we've seen this one before. Another Johnny Haynes. Or was it? Yeah, it's Johnny Haynes. Some random Vivian Woodward card. There is a guy called Vivian Woodward who is a credible player from earlier before this gentleman, and he's the card you want to look out for, because they're going to go for the roof. Random Montgomery. I got some of these cards, guys, just in job lots. Some I bought by mistake. Some I got given for free. This is one I bought from by mistake. This is a South African football team, 1906 and 1907. I bought this because I thought this is me being a bit silly. I was looking at old cards. I know very little about this sort of period of time. I was trying to do a bit of research. I saw this chap, and I thought, and it was like £4 or something posted. It's got the grapnel mixture on the back, which I love the backs. Unfortunately, this is not a football player, it's a rugby player. I thought he was a football player and it would be worth money, but unfortunately it's not. So yeah, guys, don't just go buy something thinking it's going to be rare. I thought South African football team, an actual soccer team from this period of time, would be worth a lot of money. But no, it's a rugby team, and rugby just not as collected as other sports, unfortunately. A Ray Wilson card from the my favourite set, A, B and C 67-68. And then we have another one, Len Badger. What a great name. I basically have all my cards in my set, and all the nicer ones I kind of take out because I might want to send them to get graded. That was a plan. Right, just so I can grab one of these. Then we have A, Bobby Robson from the Dickinson Ord and Co Limited. I have no idea what that is. Something random, a little card of a dog. My hat, bless him. But I love these backs. I'm not a big dog fan, to be honest, but I just thought the artwork is beautiful. The pictures are great. Saluki puppies, and a lot of these dogs might be things where the breed is kind of might have been extinct now. There's the guy that looks like Colin Ball, and it is Colin Ball. This is just another one of those 60s, 70s game cards, always off centre. Another Alan Ball from the Sun, I think, or Football Quiz game. Anglo Confectionery. Look how bright his hair is. Another Tom Finney. And then we have what is Jeff Hurst's rookie card. I believe this has a crease on it, so it's not gonna so it's not gonna grade high. But I kind of do want to get it graded though. I might see if I can send it to MGC instead of SGC. I want to get stuff graded because I like the idea of having stuff preserved, presented in a nice way. Some people might not like it. I get that. I'll take that comment, but I love it. I love it because I think it just makes things pop, makes things look like, gives some things a bit more worth, which I think is a good way of doing things with cards. And I really want to sell, guys, in July. I keep on and on. There is a Bristol is having its own Southwest card show at the Bristol football stadium, which is the Ashton Gate. I cannot wait, So I want to get stuff graded because I think people will take more notice of graded stuff. And there isn't much graded vintage stuff or any vintage stuff at much toy shows, card shows. This maybe the only person I saw was vintage was Dan from Sports Cards UK, and he, you know, half his table was kind of like more vintage and a lot of 80s and 90s, which I love. This is a UE sealer. I was going to get this one graded, but it's got really bad edging. I didn't really notice that before. It's not the best quality. Yes, there's not much vintage at these shows, and I want to be the person that brings the vintage. So I think vintage is a safe bet if you're into your investment, guys. This is me doing the sell, because I just think if you've got a player like Jeff Hurst scoring in the hat-trick in the World Cup final, he's the first player to ever do it. I think currently the last player to ever do it. So even if he gets beaten, he would always be the first person to ever do it in a World Cup final, and it's the first one for England, and it's the only time England have ever won. So this card ticks a lot of boxes. So yeah, and it's not like people say, Jeff Hurst is never gonna, if he breaks his leg tomorrow, he's gonna be off for 6 weeks, but he's not gonna be playing football, is he? Because he's in his 80s now. So it's not gonna lose value because this is a player that's proven. Then we have another Ray Wilson. There's no Kenny Dalglish for that card set. They get bubblegum, massive crease on it, so it's not a grade high, but still, I don't have much Kenny Dalglish in my collection, which is good. One of the first things I ever did when I started buying cards and stickers, especially football, was I put a message out on groups saying, anybody got anything? Looking for job lots of more vintage the better. And this guy came forward with all these stickers. They're from 1989 or 1990. 100 years of soccer sport stars. There's I can't even tell you how many is in the set. I haven't looked it up, but there was loads of unbelievable players like Bobby Moore. I think it's George Bests. There's Jimmy Greaves. Loads. It's just incredible, really. Another Jimmy Greaves card. This is the one that's up to a down, which I think is the true rookie. Guys, these are like cheap. I paid maybe £7 or £8 for these ones, and they're becoming more and more desirable. Like on the graded pile. Typhoon series, Bobby Moore. I don't know how to deal with these cards because these are like hand cut cards, and as you can tell, you cut along this bit here. So if I was to cut that now with a proper blade and send it to SGC, would they grade it as being hand cut and give it a grade, or they just would get authentic? Because I don't know, because I've seen some of these with grades, and if I cut it now, there's no difference from me cutting it now, cutting it back then. What's the point where you say that's the cut off bit where you're not allowed to any point after this date? I don't know if it's possible to do it. I've asked before, nobody's given me a clear answer. I think if you do cut it and send it in, to me, I don't like trimming at all. I think it's terribly wrong. But you're not actually going to be, if you do it right, you're not actually damaging the card. So it's, yeah, odd. Peter Shelton card, I think it's from like 69. Weird sort of edging again. These always look really poor quality. Trying to find good quality ones are near impossible. A Marco van Basten card. I think this is from like 86, I want to say, 87. But yeah, I don't have much of him. This came up cheap and I just thought, why not? Same as this chap. I can't even pronounce his name. Alfredo Di Stefano, Real Madrid, amazing player. I think he played for like 1 million international. I think he played for like 3 or 4 international teams, which is kind of weird because he can do it because of the rules or something. Yeah, I originally thought this was a really weird off-cut card, but it's kind of not. It's actually how they kind of look. They kind of make a massive football picture of players. Hard to get any of those cards, to be honest. So to find one like that is awesome. I think that's after his playing days, though. I love wearing his polo shirts. This is Fred Perry. Carrera's fine quality cigarettes. There is a really cool Fred Perry is basically a tennis player if you don't know, guys. There's a really cool Stanley Matthews one, and there's also a really cool, I think it's maybe Queen Elizabeth when she was a child. So these would come out in like 1928, 1929. Maybe actually this is a winner of the Wimbledon Tennis Singles Amateur Championship 1934. So probably from 35, 36. Which makes sense if there's a Stanley Matthews one. Another Tom Finney card. Another Stanley Matthews card. The guy, his name I can't pronounce. Jarzinho. But I know obviously I saw a foot match was being played the other day actually. I think they're playing the Netherlands or something. Brazil versus the Netherlands. And he was playing, it was awesome. It was on like ITV Hub. So they did like classic sport, which I think is really cool. I'm not a big fan of caricature cards type things, but this is a lovely Dixie Dean in his Everton kit from the 28-29 season, I think it is. That's one that might need to go to grading. Here's how to not buy cards, guys. If you know somebody who's a famous footballer, do the research first before you actually buy a card. I saw this pop up and I saw Needham. I thought, oh, that's great. I think it's a Taddy's or a it's a Smiths actually card, and I thought, oh yeah, Needham. Everybody talks about him. I'll just buy this card, and it's completely the wrong guy. But still, Nottingham Forest, cool player, cool card, looking card, very very old. You're talking over 100 years old. It's probably in like 1910 sort of era. How do you pronounce this guy's name? Facchetti for Italy. I don't know much about this chap, to be honest. Yeah, one of these cool Babs product stickers. I love those. Here's the card of Bobby Moore from that game, off centre still. Never going to find one centred. Here's a Nobby Styles. Same again. This one's got much more of an issue because it cuts into the actual card. Pat Rice for Arsenal. Arsenal legend. That's Martin Peters, isn't it? Yeah, this is the Barrett cards. I love these cards. I really do. Here's a nice Bobby Moore. Quality's not too perfect on it and it's off centre on the back, unfortunately. With my grading, my problem is I don't want to send off stuff just because it's old. I want to obviously send stuff which is good quality and centred correctly. Now this is a card I can probably get hold of in better quality and centred if I put some effort into it. But some cards are so hard to get hold of. Actually, it doesn't really matter what the quality is. Just getting them graded is where it should be, really. There's George Tadman, who played for Charlton Athletic, and William Hullet from Plymouth, from the Topical Times. I think this card's from 60 or 61. This is a Jimmy Greaves, famous footballers. I don't know who he's been by FBS. It's Rivellino from Brazil. There is a Dennis Law for Man United. That's a cool card. I might get that graded. There is a Upside Down Cadet Suites of Jimmy Greaves. That's one of his rookie cards, I imagine. This is a Fulham card which features, I think it's Johnny Haynes, is it? Yeah, it is Johnny Haynes. Looks like it's from the late 60s, sorry, late 50s. Probably like 58, 59, 60, that sort of period. Then we have a Gerson for Brazil. Then we have a Riva Luigi Riva for Italy. George Cohen for Fulham. And look at that. Lovely card. Unfortunately, it's got blue staining all down it. Bobby Robson again. And again. And then the last of this small lot is Joe Baker from that series I love. Guys, I know this might be a bit boring, but I just kind of wanted to go for my cards. I find it's quite therapeutic to kind of sit here and just relax, go through cards, work out what I want to get sent to get graded. If I want to swap some, if I want to sell some, if I want to put some in collection binders. I just find it really kind of relaxing. So I thought, yeah, this is why I've taken you guys along with the ride, really. I do have way more cards than this, but this is just box one, I suppose. We have here a Ian St. John. I think this is a CS Limited. I'm not really sure what that company is. But yeah, Liverpool. I really like that one. I might go to the graded pile. This is the card. It's Card Masters and Vending Master. Master Vending, that's what it's called. Card Master of Football Tips. Matt Lofthouse, awesome player. Legend, really. Somebody who was talked about when I first started getting into collecting. A lot of people talked about him. I don't really hear much noise about him now. Tom Finney. Alan Ball. Ray Wilson. Jimmy Greaves. And that Lofthouse. That Jackie Moody guy. Stanley Matthews. Bert Troutman. Is it Roger Hunt? That's really off centre, unfortunately. Billy Wright for Radio Fun. Johnny Haynes. A lot of these cards I've just shown you guys already, but I've got piles and piles of them. Here's another Johnny Haynes card that I really like. Doesn't it just look nice? I think on the pile. This is quite cool. So there is a and B C card from 1962 of Bobby Moore. That's his kind of first card. This would be considered his second, I imagine. I think it's from 62 or 63. People argue that it's 63, some say 62. But there's two of these that do the rounds. There is the A11 and the A12. So on the back it says a series A11 set of 50 at the top. That's the one you want to get. This is this one here. The A12, for example, is easy to come by and you shouldn't be paying much money for it because it's more of them right there. But this is the one you should try and find. This was like £8 or £9, I think, but because of the staining at the top, it's not a card that's going to be going to grade high, unfortunately. But I do love that card. I remember when I bought it for the first time, I was over the moon. I got my one that's currently graded. This is a Jeff Hurst sticker, and again, and this is quite cool, guys. Maybe you might know who this is, you might not know. This guy here is William Russell. Here he is in Adventures of Sir Lancelot, some 1950s, early 60s TV show. Born in Sunderland. I didn't know that. So this guy is still alive. He's 97. He was the Doctor's first kind of companion in Doctor Who. He played Ian Chesterton. He left the series in 1965, and he's done loads of audiobooks and radio series and normal books and everything. But he actually appeared in the last episode of Doctor Who recently when Jodie Whittaker regenerated. He was in the circle of old people that the Doctor had actually travelled with, and he said a few lines. He's like 97, guys, and I think he's an amazing guy. When I heard that there was a card of him, I just had to get it. It's in poor condition. It's not the best, but he's a bit of a legend in my eyes. Then this really cool Mr. Dr. Fu Manchu card. I don't have much movie cards in my collection. I maybe have a 20 or 30 or so overall. But I knew that Fu Manchu was an early film. I think I've seen it. Or seen a print of it. They've made it a few times, I think. It says here, the Tower at Grimsby, which I imagine is probably where it was handed out. But yeah, early cards from movies and films could be worth a lot of money. I don't know much about this one, but I thought it was nice and it tells a bit of a story, and I like my films and cinema, so that was cool. This Gallagher's Cigarettes card, I think I just got given it recently. Arsenal versus Newcastle, I think it came in a set I purchased. Then we have a Bobby Moore card from the Greenbacks, I think it's 1970 or 1969. It's got a bit of staining on the side, which is annoying because it's not that bad a shape. Franz Beckenbauer sticker for the Babs products from the 1970s. A Buchanan from Blackpool. Not to be confused with this one, Charles Buchanan for Arsenal. Bit of a player that should be on people's radars really. Some really weird Olympics cards. I got a few Olympics cards recently in a job lot, and I kept some of the ones which I thought would look quite nice. Then we have a 19, I think it's 31 or 32 just came out. They basically released a set of all the winning FA Cup teams. This one's Man United, and it has Billy Meredith here, who is a bit of a legend of the game. So to have a Meredith card is quite nice. It was during his lifetime, but not during his playing days, unfortunately. Harry Gregg. I believe Harry Gregg was the chap that pulled, the goalkeeper that pulled some of the players out of the actual airplane during the Munich crash. Billy Elliot, I just like the name. Is that who the movie's based on? Obviously not the football there, but based on the actual, is a name. Did they take the name from him maybe? Because it's quite a good, cool name. Martin Peters, this is the Sun card, I think, yeah. Then we have what's his face? Jimmy Greaves. Another Harry Gregg. And that Lofthouse. A Tom Finney again. And then a really weird A Ducat for Aston Villa. I think this is one of those Smiths cards. I just picked up early Villa players is what I'm trying to do for some reason. I don't know why. It's just in my head. I feel like Villa was like a strong team back then. And last but not least, we're going to end with Ray Wilson. England 66 player. Nice card. Looks like it should go to grading. So guys, that's it. That's my little pile of vintage cards I have. I have way more than that, so I'll probably do another video in the future when I go through another box. I have some stuff from like the 80s and 90s which I want to show off at one point. There was some brilliant stickers and stuff like that which I love. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you want, please comment in the comment section if there's any cards you like, or any cards you think I sell off to get graded, or if you know the answers to any of my questions I've asked. But yeah, these are the cards I like. I love this series here. I think they look really nice. I'm going to send some of these, I think, to get graded as well. There you go. I think that one there is the better one. And then that Bradman is quite cool now, the cricket player. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as always, stay safe and happy hunting.